Learning the Keyboard Part 2, Naming White and Black Keys and Advanced Enharmonics. We're going to do a quick review of the keyboard. Remember, we're going to find the pairs of black keys, look down and to the left, and that is the note C, and then we just go in alphabetical order. When we get to the note G, and we start over at A. Remember, sharps are up and to the right of the note for which they're named. So C, then up and to the right is C sharp. D, up and to the right is D sharp. And that extends all the way up the keyboard. Flats are up and to the left of the note for which they're named. So D up and to the left is D flat. E up and to the left is E flat. And so on up the keyboard. What we find is that each one of those black keys has two names, F sharp and G flat, G sharp and A flat, A sharp and B flat. And once again, that continues all the way up and down the keyboard in both directions. Remember that enharmonic means different name for the same pitch. Now, in order to move forward, we need to break an assumption. When you're first starting to learn about something, often we have to take some shortcuts so that we can learn something pretty quickly and move ahead. As you get deeper into the content, you find you're memorizing a lot of exceptions. Well, rather than learn more exceptions, what we're going to do is we're going to break a conception that many of us have about the piano keyboard and move on with a new way of looking at it so that the new rules we learn will work in every case and we don't have to remember exceptions. So here's our keyboard. We need to break you of the idea that black keys are the sharps and the flats. I know, we've been told forever the white keys are the naturals and the black keys are the sharps and flats, but here we go. What I'd like you to do is start looking at the keyboard as a series of half steps. A half step is two keys next to each other with nothing in between. Sharps are a half step higher, and flats are a half step lower, regardless of whether you end up on a black key or not. Let's further clarify this idea of a half step. A half step is two keys that are next to each other with nothing in between. The most easily identifiable half step is to move from a white key to an adjacent black key, or vice versa. Here we move from A up to that black key, A sharp or B flat, or we move from that black key, A sharp, B flat, down to the B. Each of those are half steps. Most white keys are next to each other, but they do have a black key in between. So, usually, adjacent white keys are considered whole steps. The construction of the keyboard presents something interesting, though. If you look between E and F and B and C, there is no black key. In these instances, white key to white key is a natural half step. If you separate the concepts of sharp and flat from the black keys, and you instead see the keyboard as a series of half steps, the strategies you use will always work, and you won't have to memorize exceptions. I just have one more wrench to throw at you. Double sharps, double flats. And this is reason number 2 why separating flats and sharps from black keys is so important. Natural half steps was the first one. Double sharp. It can be notated as this X-ish thing right here, or two side-by-side sharps. A double flat is just notated by using two flats that are pressed up against each other. In order to figure these out, remember sharps and flats are half steps, not black keys. Sharps and flats are half steps, not black keys. So let's try one. Where's B sharp? So again, until you can recognize these things on sight, find C and then count either backwards through the alphabet or forward through the alphabet to find the notes. There's B, and normally for sharp, in the old way of thinking, we'd go up and to the right, but there's no black key there. So instead, we go to the next white key, and that is C. So B sharp is C natural. That's the enharmonic equivalent. Let's try another. Where's E sharp? So again, let's find C. Go in alphabetical order up to E. Again, sharp. In the old way of thinking, we used to go up and to the right, but there's no black key there. So instead, We just move a half step because that's what a sharp tells us to do, and that happens to be a white key in this instance. And that white key is F, or F natural. So E sharp and F natural are enharmonic equivalents. Let's try another. Where is C flat? Same thing, there's C, up to the left. Let's not do it that way. Let's just go down a half step. That happens to be a white key. And so C flat is the enharmonic equivalent of B natural. How about this one? F flat. C, D, E, F. And not up and to the left, there's nothing there. So let's go just F flat. Flat is down a half step. So there you go. F flat and E natural are enharmonic equivalents. Sharps and flats are half steps, not black keys. Now let's try double sharp. You can see the little X thing by the F. That's your double sharp. So C, D, E, F. Now in our old way of thinking, we might have been saying, ooh, 2 sharp, so we have to go up 2 black keys. That's not how it works. Double sharp is 2 half steps. So F double sharp, the enharmonic equivalent for that is G natural. We're going to do one more. Let's try double flat. A flat flat. So here we go with C, back up through the alphabet to A. And again, if we aren't separating the idea of flats from half steps, it'd be easy to think to ourselves, oh, we have to go 2 black keys, but that's not how it works. It's A and then down 2 half steps. So the enharmonic equivalent of A double flat is G natural. Here's a blank keyboard. A link to one can also be found in the comments. The big ideas, the big takeaway from this is let's separate sharps and flats as a concept from black keys on the keyboard. Sharps and flats are half steps. And once we do that, we don't have to memorize exceptions. We now have a new way to conceive the keyboard. And for many of you, you may already know this, you may have already come across this, but I find that the biggest source of confusion that I find with enharmonics and double sharps and double flats is the fact that people are conflating sharps and flats with black keys. So hopefully that's a great help for you, and I'm looking forward to showing you some other things in music theory.